Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're making jalapeno stuffed pork roast. Got a little kick to it, not too bad, and it's full of my favorite ingredients, bacon and cheese and jalapenos. Let's get at it. Well, the first thing we need is some bacon, because of course with jalapeno comes bacon. Put it on a baking sheet and that's going to go in the oven 400, maybe about 10 minutes. Okay, now here's our pork roast. It's got a little bit of fat in it, and it's going to be a little difficult to make it into 3 big cuts. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to attempt to just slice it in half, and hopefully I can work out the stuffing that way. Need to cut it carefully in half, but not all the way to the end, because you want to lay it open. Now, ideally, if it was a nice and big round pork roast, you would kind of slice it into 3 and make a longer roll, but you work with what you got. So I think the 2, I can kind of make it work. It's not going to be as pretty though. So there you go. If I had a little leaner pork roast, I think we'd be better off. But we can make this work. I'm going to cut a little bit of the fat off, at least as much as I can anyway. There's not a whole lot of hope for the whole roast. I'm going to cover it with some plastic wrap. And then the fun part, once I finally get the plastic to work, of course. I don't know about you, but it always crumples up on me. So we tried pounding her down with our meat pounder. Yeah, it was kind of okay. It wasn't the greatest, but we can make it work. Here's our bacon, nice and crispy out of the oven. I'm always fascinated by how much it actually shrinks. What for what you pay for and what you end up with. So we need some stuffing. In a bowl, this is 8 ounces of cream cheese. Now, it should be softened, not melted, but softened. So I threw it in the microwave for 30 seconds, just enough to soften it up. We also need some ranch dressing, some powdered ranch dressing, and I'm only using a half a pack. I've learned in the past, unless you want a super intense flavor, you'll use half, and then you can use the other half for the same thing again, or another project that needs the powder. So we mixed all that up. Our bacon's ready to go. We've gotten as much of the grease off it as we can. But we're going to chop this up into pieces. You want the flavor, but not the chunks. And of course, if you don't like it super crispy, don't cook the bacon super crispy. It's just a little easier to cut that way. But okay, we'll put that aside. We'll bring out our roast. And you can see it doesn't quite line up all that great either. We'll do the best we can. So we're going to take our cream cheese, and that's the first thing. This is why you need it soft, so you can actually spread it around. Just like butter. There. Next up, our bacon. And we'll do the same thing with it. Yummy. And of course you need cheese. Of course you do. Not that the cream cheese doesn't count, but you gotta have the other cheese too. That's about a cup's worth by the time I'm done. I didn't go crazy since there already is other cheese on it. That could. Now this is jalapenos. This is everything I still had in the freezer. We thawed her out, and you're gonna see I chopped it up. I guess if you want slices, go ahead. But these are the ends off of some of my stuffed jalapenos that I've made in the past, and I just save them rather than throw them out. So there you go. That's a good half a cup. At least 2 jalapenos if you're keeping score. I'm going to pat this down because we got to roll it up now. Ever so carefully. Without all the stuffing coming out. And I'm a little concerned because you can see how it's not like a nice even piece of meat. It may give us problems down the road, and probably will, but we'll work through them. And we carefully roll this up. It's not hard. Once you get it started, it's pretty easy. I'm just trying to make sure everything doesn't roll out while we're rolling it. Doesn't squeeze out or fall out while we're rolling it up. Okay, there we go. Butcher's twine. We got to tie this little roast up. Now, what I did was I actually cut the 3 pieces of string ahead of time. Tried to get it roughly to where I wanted it. That way I didn't have to fight with it. So I did the one side ever so carefully. Tied the other side. And then one in the middle. There's our 3. Well, I was going to pull out another baking sheet, and then I thought, well, I've already dirtied this one. Why not just use this one? So now I've carefully got to pull the roast up, put it on some parchment paper. And I've already preheated my oven. So let's get it into the oven. That looks good. Okay, let's get this in the oven. 450 for at least a half an hour, up to an hour, maybe even more. If you got a meat thermometer check, 145 is what you're looking for. Here we are at the halfway mark, looking good. We're going to put it back in for another 25 minutes. Now this is at the 50-minute mark. We pulled it out. Let it rest for a bit. I'm going to cut into it. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, it looks pretty good, at least on the outside. Not that I'm the best cutter in the world. We'll try another one only to find out that, you know what, the middle needed a little work. Doesn't look bad, but it's a little pink. So I cut it all up, and then let's put her back in the oven for another 10 minutes or so. Yeah, everything worked out well. So there's our jalapeno stuffed pork, and it was good. Once again, if there's no leftovers, it must have been good. Thanks for stopping by and watching. Another great recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. Leave me a comment below, one way or the other. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, because that'll tell you the next time I upload a video. Feel free to share this and any of my other videos. And thanks for stopping by and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.